Hello everyone, today I want to show you how to make this fallen leaves effect on the side of the curb using Geo-Scatter. So we're going to try to make it as quickly as possible. Now we're going to use Geo-Scatter, plug in, and then from the bio systems that we have here, we're going to just hit scatter. And there you have it. But wait, first of all, I have to show you how I made these systems from scratch. So let's begin. So first of all, we're going to start by creating the road. So we're going to use a plane for that. So let me just shift this aside, and then this is a cube. I'm going to delete the cube. We're going to start by adding a plane. We're going to use it as a road. So I need the plane to be around 10 meters long and then about 7.5 meters wide. So to quickly do that, I can just go here, select the plane. Here are the dimensions for the plane. Make it 10. Here make it 7.5. Maybe I should make it around 20 meters. Right. Don't forget to Control A apply after scaling it. So it's just going to normalize the measurements, the scaling. Now we're going to tab into edit mode, Control R. So basically I just want to subdivide this plane. So it's going to help out a lot when we do the scattering and stuff. Now here I want to add a concrete curb. I want to add a concrete curb along this line here. So let me just delete. So I'm going to start by selecting this vertex over here, and then you duplicate it, Shift D, extrude Z 0.15, and then I want to separate to make it a separate object. Now I want to extrude this vertex over here to about 0.085. So basically I'm just creating the side profile for the concrete curb. Now here I want to make it to 0.3, grab it on the z-axis 0.05, and then I'm gonna extrude this vertex over here, EZ, and then snap it on this, E for extrude again, snap it on this, and then F to join the vertices. Now I want to close this face over here, so I'm just going to select this one, press F, it's going to close. So as you can see, this is a side profile of the concrete curb. So now select everything, extrude X 1.5. So here we have the shape of a curb. I just want to select these faces over here, click and drag, and then press I on the keyboard just to add an inset, and then for about 0.015, and then again, or not again, but extrude X 0.015. So I've added 0.015 along this. Initially I had this curb to around 1.5. That's the length of the curb, but I want to keep it that way. So I'm just gonna move back these by 0.015, just so that the overall shape of the overall size of the curb is 1.5. Now I wanna duplicate these curbs, but first I'm gonna start by doing that on edit mode. So Shift D, X, and then I'm gonna snap it to something around here. So I'm going to repeat what I've just done now. So Shift R repeats the last action that you have done. Now quickly, I just want to fix these sharp edges. So no concrete, it's really in real life it's not this sharp. It's gonna be soft a little bit at the corners, so it's gonna help during the rendering. Now Q bevel. So the bevel modifier is gonna soften the edges. Something like this is alright, shade smooth. And then I lost this line detail over here. As you can see, we no longer have that contour, but we can fix that by going to the modifiers, bevel that I've just added, drag it to something like, drag the angle, shading angle to around 10 degree. So as you can see, we have the detail again. All right, now I'm gonna add the sidewalk paving around here. So to quickly do that, I'm gonna select these edges, Shift D, duplicate them, Z, snap it over here, and then I just press P to separate them, to make it a separate object from the road itself. Now I need to extrude with E on the keyboard to make it around 3 meters maybe, and then grab it Z 0.2, something like 0.2, Control R, grab Z, snap it over here. So I just wanna make the sidewalk paving to curve a little bit, so that's why I add this edge loop. But I'm gonna bevel, Control B. First you have to select it, and then Control B, C, you press C on the keyboard to kind of clamp the loop cuts, and then you spin your mouse wheel to add more geometry. So which is just gonna make this smooth sidewalk. Okay, I think we have the basic mesh. For now I just want to add the materials on them. So if you press Shift F1, you can go to the asset browser, Shift F1, and then here I saved my materials over here. So I'm going to use this curb concrete material that I saved from, normally I find them from Blender Kit. I found them in here. So if you can just search in here, concrete, here you're gonna find a lot of materials. So I just picked one of them here, and then I saved it onto my computer. So yeah, I'm just gonna drag it, put it on the curb, and then I'm gonna apply the asphalt material on the road surface here, and then I'm gonna put a something like a paving material on this sidewalk. So let me see if I can find it, paving. So I'm just gonna use anything. Let me just use this one. Now let me just preview to show you what I've done so far. Now this is what I have. Right. Okay, I want to separate these curves to make them individual objects, because currently this is just one object. So I want to make them individual objects. Reason being that the material that I use on them, if I can show you now, it randomizes the color of the concrete based on separate object. So I'm going to apply, I've applied the material on these objects. So now to have them, as you can see, some of them are dark, some of them are bright. That is because on this material the brightness is gonna be randomized. So other objects are gonna be bright, other ones are gonna be dark, because of this value over here inside the material. So they are using one material which automatically brightens and darkens them per separate object. So if it's one object, let me just show you quickly. If it's one object here, let me just make it one object. If it's just one object, currently it's one object now, there's no variation in color. But if I separate these, as you can see there's a variety of brightness on this. So that's the main reason why I have to separate them. Shift L, material. Right. Now we're gonna scatter those leaves along this curb where it meets the road. So I'm gonna use a curve to sort of control how I scatter the leaves and the grass and everything else. Now I'm gonna shift duplicate this line over here, press P, selection. So I'm just gonna drag it up by 0.01 or 0.02, and then I'm gonna control apply. I'm gonna convert this edge, this line here, to a curve. Convert curve. You can just press F3. You can just select it, press F3, convert to curve. So that's what I've just done. And then I'm gonna rename it to curb concrete or curb dirt. Sorry. All right, and then here I'm gonna rename it to road. Then this one I'm gonna rename it to sidewalk. All right. Now, as you can see, let me show you quickly. As you can see on this system, we have grass. We have three different types of objects. We have grass, we have this clump of dead leaves here, and then we have these individual leaves. So I'm gonna drag those into my viewport so that I can use them to scatter here. So let me just try to find them. I'll start by leaves. I'll put them somewhere in here. These are the leaves. So I'm going to drag them aside. So currently they are grouped into one instance, so I want to separate them. Explode. Now these are individual leaves. And then secondly, I want to add the leaf cluster leaves. I'm going to put a variety of them in here. And then I'm going to drag them aside also. Let me just preview them for you. This is what I have. This is what I have. And then I'm going to add some grass. Normally I use something like grass blade. So I'm just going to drag them in here. Okay, gonna shift them aside. Now we're gonna start by scattering the leaves, these, and then I want these leaves to follow this curve over here. I don't want them to just randomly appear anyway, so I want them to pivot around this curve. You'll see what I mean. We're going to use Geo-Scatter, which is a powerful scattering add-on or plugin for Blender. It's a paid software, but I think they have a free version also. Now I'm going to tag this plane as a scattering target. Now I'm going to start by scattering the leaves. Or maybe let me start by scattering these cluster things here. Okay, first of all you select them, select density scatter and just scatter. Alright, as you can see now they appear almost everywhere on the plane, which is not what we want. We want them to appear only where this curve line is. Now we're gonna come to surface, we're gonna go to distribution and then select curve, Bezier spline, and then you see they disappeared, but we're gonna choose the Bezier as the name of this Bezier. This curve is curved, as you can see over here. So we're gonna put the name here, curved. Now already you can see they follow the curve. Okay, let's put it around maybe 15, 17. Yeah, I want to select on spline, so I want them to appear on this, and then let's put it back to around 17. Okay, now I wanna sort of like duplicate this curve by using the raw feature here. I just want one duplicate, and then I'm gonna offset it by, so I'm just gonna put it close to the original curve. As you can see here, so far this is what we have. Right, so let's proceed. I want them to distribute randomly so that they're not just uniform. Something like let me just see what I can get here. So yeah, okay. So now I want to create sort of like patches. I want some parts of this, I want them to disappear on some of the parts on the road. I don't want them to appear all over the road like this. Now I'm gonna use this feature here inside Geo-Scatter. And then I'm just gonna add new. Already we have a noise pattern here, we have a texture here that controls where these things appear so that they don't look too uniform. I don't want to control the scale. Okay, we get in there. So I'm just gonna scale this texture. I wanna scale this texture. Maybe 0. Something like this, maybe. Yeah, so far so good. Now let me see if I can adjust it a little bit. So basically what I'm doing now, I'm just controlling the texture. So I just want to tweak these things until I find something that I really like. Okay. Yep, I think I have nice patches. So I might want to increase the size. Increase the size a bit. Yeah, so far they look much better. Now I want to add the leaves. So again, we're just going to select the leaves, go to density scatter, and then we just scatter them. You see, initially they're going to appear on this road surface, but I want them to I want to drag them to be around here. So I'm going to use this as a pivot point for the leaves. So I want to concentrate them along this line. So again, we're going to go to distribution, Bezier, spline, on spline, and then we're going to choose our curve dot. The curve dot is the name of this, as you can see over here, is the name of this curve. And then we're going to increase the count. I don't know if you can see it, or let me just increase the size. So here they are. So now, as you can see, they appear strictly on the curve. I want them to spread out a little bit. So that's when I'm gonna use this spread distribution feature here. So it's gonna remove this, it's gonna sort of distribute it away from the line. So let me increase the size, maybe let's say 80, something like here, it will be good. And then it doesn't have to be too much, something like this will do. Okay. All right. So far, so good. And then we're gonna add another layer. So let me just rename this to leaf cluster, because the first one we distributed, and then the second layer is the leaves, and then we're gonna add a third layer of leaves to kind of create a variation of this. So again, we're gonna select the leaves, go to density scatter, and then we scatter the objects. Initially, like always, it's gonna appear everywhere, so we want them to scatter along the curve line. And then let me just rename it leaves 2, and then we're gonna use the distribution method to B-spline so that it scatters on top of the curve, and then on spline, and then we're going to choose the curve, and then we're going to spread it again. Maybe on this one we may use maybe we may use more count, maybe 100 or maybe 150. And then let me just increase the size. Let me double check on this to see how much I had. 2. Okay, leaves 2. Let me scale it to the same figure, 2. So let me mute this, the first leaves. As you can see, I mute them. Yeah, after muting them, let me see what I can do here. Let me see what I can do. I think I might wanna use the pattern to kind of break this scattering a bit. I want to create patches the same way I did on the leaf cluster. So again, add a texture, and then control maybe the brightness and contrast. Yep. And then I can scale the texture however I want. I want to break it apart a little bit. I don't want to affect the scale, just want to affect only the density, because if I affect the scale, some of the leaves are going to scale down, which is not what I want at this moment. Now let me see what I can do. I think something like this can work. Let me increase the car. Oh, sorry. Let me increase the count a little bit. Maybe 200. Alright, so I think this will do. And then I'm gonna bring back the previous leaves. Hey man, I'm not happy with this, man. I think this should do. Okay, that's fine. And then I'm gonna add another layer of leaves. Oh, sorry. And then I'm going to select the leaves again. Go to density scatter. This option over here. Scatter again. Scale it up to about 2. As always, we're gonna, where's the distribution settings? We're gonna use the spline as the reference curve, and then we're gonna start adjusting these. These settings over here. Let me just put it at 150. All right. I want to create the rest of the leaves for the road. I think I'm going to spread them like this. So what this control, it controls, it's almost the same as, let me just do this. It kind of moves it away from the curves, from the curve a little bit. So that is what it's doing. And I'm just gonna drive it towards the curve. All right. I want to create patches also on this one. So if I can find the pattern, new, we're going to use a Musgrave texture, and then I want it to affect the scale slightly. and then I want to create the patches. So I don't want these leaves to be distributed uniformly across the road. So I want some parts to have no leaves, some parts must have leaves. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna kind of find a good setting here. Something like this. Maybe this. But I want to scale this texture. Let me see if I can do this. Maybe let me reduce the count a bit. Maybe 100, 50. It's almost there. Sorry. I think I'm getting closer to what I want. I might want to go back to another system, maybe this, and spread it a bit. Or maybe bring it back slightly. Put it at 0.65. Then I should go to the parent settings. To kind of have a good mix of them. Let me see. So far it's looking quite good. Yeah, it's looking reasonable. Now I'm gonna scatter the grass now. So the thing about this grass is that I want it to appear only on top of these leaf clusters. Let me show you this. You know what, let me just first join this. I want to fix the texture a bit, so Control J for joining. Smart UV unwrap. Let me check. Yeah, okay. Now I can separate them again. Loose parts, I believe it should be sorted now. As you can see, the curves do not have the same color. Some are a little bit bright, some are a little bit darker. That's fine. Okay. Now I want these grasses to appear only where I've put where I've scattered the leaf clusters. I don't want them to appear where it's just empty, because of grass cannot grow directly on the asphalt. There has to be some material, soil and debris to grow on. So the best place to put it is specifically on top of these leaf clusters. So there's a special feature where it's going to automatically find where the cluster is concentrated and then scatters there. It's not going to scatter here. I'll show you what I mean by that. First of all, you select the grass, go to density scatter, just scatter it. Now all right, now as always, we're gonna use we're gonna use a spline. Curb dirt as always is the name of this line, right? Now on spline, but as you can see now, let me just increase this. It's appearing everywhere, which is what I do not want. I want it to appear only where these leaves are these cluster leaves are concentrated, not here. So we're going to use a feature in Geo-Scatter called density. If ecosystem density, and then it needs to know which reference should I use, which scatter system to use as a reference to scatter on. Let me just say leaves 3, and let me just say grass. Okay, so the name of the reference system is gonna be this one. It's gonna be leaf cluster. Now already you can see it mostly appears where there's a leaf cluster, so we just have to fine-tune how it should appear, right? Maybe 0.5. Oh, 0.5. And then these options, that is what I'm gonna use to kind of set it up. And then I want maybe about 2 maybe, or just few of them. I think these are too big, so I must go to the scale, maybe set it up to 0.75. I don't know, something like 0.65. I think this is better. So I'm scattering the grass on the curve, but I want the grass to appear where the leaf cluster system is, not everywhere on the curve. So I use the density feature inside the ecosystem, density feature, and then I'm gonna reference where I want the grass to appear on the leaf cluster, and then here is where I control the how many should appear, so on and so forth. I hope that makes sense. So basically this is what I do. As always, I'm gonna add a human being, just to sort of reference to get a sense of scale in the picture or in the 3D scene. Let me just put this lady. Then I need some, at least one car. I don't know why it adds this, man. I hate it. 90. So far, this is what we have. This is what we have so far. Now, what I like about this is that next time, okay, let me just show you how to save this whole preset here, so that next time you don't have to set them manually. You can just choose your system, press, you can just choose your system and then just hit your preset, and then it's just gonna appear in 2 seconds. Okay, so first of all, I need to save this system into this list of custom-made biomes, so that next time I can just click on it and then I don't have to waste the whole hour setting up the scatter system. So now what you have to do now, we just have to select everything here and go to extra, export. We're going to convert everything here into a biome. So if you select multiple systems, make sure before you hit biome to hold down Alt on the keyboard. Select it to biome, and then curb dirt toot. Then I'm gonna press next, next. I don't care. Hold down Alt, press OK. I believe right now it saved everything as a preset or as a biome. So to prove that, I'm gonna delete everything that I've done here. And then now imagine this is a fresh scene. You haven't done anything on this as far as scattering is concerned, but you want to make sure, because of the curb, I call it curb dirt. You want to make sure that you name it exactly as you saved it, so that it works well. Otherwise it will not work. It won't be able to find this curve. So you gotta make sure that you rename the new curve as what you saved in the biome, so that it can find it. If I name this XYZ when I saved the biomes, when I have to scatter the system on the curve, I'm gonna have to rename this curve to XYZ. I hope it makes sense. Excuse my English. All right, for now, you're gonna take the tar road there, the road, and you're gonna open up the biomes. You have to find, oh, there it is. So here is our saved biome. So the moment I click on this one, everything that I've done should appear as I've done it. You see what I'm saying? Let's test it on a new scene. File, new, genre, new. I'm gonna add a plane. Go to the dimensions of the plane under the item tab, and then X is gonna be maybe 20, and then the Y is gonna be maybe 8. Control apply scale. Let me undo this. If you don't apply, we want the scale factor on this for this object to be 111 here. So after scaling here, you can see it's 1041, so which is not gonna work correctly. So for it to work correctly, you have to control A, apply scale for this, and then everything else is normalized. Now after doing this, I'm gonna quickly create a curve. I won't take long, just something like this. 3. So this is our road. This is our curb. Now, first of all, we need let me just subdivide the road first. First of all, we need the curve line. Then we're gonna separate it. Remember to drag it up a little bit, maybe by 0.02, 0.02, and then while we're selecting this line, we have to, let me just subdivide it also. We have to convert this to a curve. You can do that by pressing F3, convert to curve. So I just saved the shortcut into these quick favorites. Now the line is a curve now. It's a curve object. Before we do anything else, because we saved our biome, remember when you save the biome, we named this curve line curb depth. So we have to do that or in this case also. So F2, curb line, curb depth, sorry, curb depth, because of that's how we saved it in the biome. Oh, sorry. So now let me just quickly add the material. Concrete. Now we're gonna select the plane, the road, and then we're gonna find the biome, and then we're gonna locate it. This is our saved biome. We're gonna click it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's done. So now you can see it automatically save all the scatter systems. Sorry, it adds the system the way we saved it. So I hope everything that I said makes sense. So at this point we have reached the end of the video, and if there's anything that I need to improve regarding my tutorial, just let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.